live from the virtual Monaco Grand Prix circuit. It's a collection of McLarens racing one of the CluckClash Triple Crown. I'm Rick James bringing you uninterrupted coverage from the Monaco Grand Prix circuit, and the cars are well underway. By my side is everyone's favorite Strian, Mitch. Welcome to the Principality. Welcome to night one of the CluckClash.
Oh, what an exciting couple of nights it's going to be. And here at Monaco, great way to start here in the McLarens. And the McLarens, we've got 15 of them. There's so many of them, it's going to be absolutely delightful to watch.
It may be very difficult to keep up with who is where, so fans at home, we are going to give you the best shot we can at differentiating between these drivers. Right now, Mr. Slidejob 1996 out on the racetrack, I believe. Well, can't exactly tell who that is behind him, but these drivers, oh, look at that, already struggling to maintain these race cars. And there's a big crash right there in Rascasse, Mitch. And this is going to be a problem for a lot of these drivers, is telling who, and there's another driver going around in Rascasse. Mitch, these are all NASCAR drivers. For all intents and purposes, they have virtually no idea what they're doing out here.
Well, especially the McLaren 98 car, I have driven this car before, and it is difficult around Monaco. So it's going to be a challenge. It's definitely going to be a challenge. And it's especially at a track like this at Monaco, you've got to get everything right because one big moment, you're in the wall.
Maverick Moose, the lone Canadian in this field in the 98 McLaren, tagging the wall through Nouvelle Chicane. Now the last left-hander before Piscine, and he slams the wall there. Mitch, thankfully for these amateur Formula One pilots, as Maverick Moose destroys the car yet again, no damage for them in either qualifying or the race. And a good thing. So it's a lot of mercy for these drivers. And Mitch, you and I are used to seeing the cream of the crop of console Formula One pilots, but this, for lack of a better term, Mitch, is going to be something fresh and something inexperienced for these guys.
Well, I'll give them this credit. I'd rather no damage at Monaco, to be honest. So I don't blame them. Monaco, you're going to hit the walls easily, and because the walls come at you really quickly, and we've seen that already here tonight, and we're going to see that a whole lot more as the night progresses.
1:16:09, the time at the top of the tree for Zachary 7007 in his McLaren as he tags the wall out of the casino corner, now headed towards what is now known as the Grand Hotel hairpin, what I knew as a child as the Lowe's hairpin. Zachary at the top, 1:16:094. Baritone Boss right behind him with a 1:17:16. And Mitch with 13 and 50 seconds to play here. Not only is the track incredibly tight, however, there's so much pressure because it's night one of the CluckClash, and only the top 6 will be scoring unique points. From 6 on 10th, everybody will be scoring 10 points each, headed into tomorrow night, Indianapolis.
Yes, you always want to get off to a good start, and especially going into Indianapolis tomorrow night. Want to get off to that good start, and here at Monaco, I mean, you got to play with your luck. You got to play with your cards. It's like a casino. You just got to get it absolutely perfectly right to get through. And honestly, here at Monaco, all you need is luck.
Ace Petty, 43, the commissioner of the whole thing, now coming down into pits to make some adjustments. He finds himself 4th with 13 minutes to play. Optic Goblin is in. Baritone Boss, 2nd on the charts, right through Saint-Devote up. Beau Rivage now headed into the casino corner. One of the toughest parts of this, and the whole circuit is tough, Mitch, but certainly that climb up Beau Rivage has to be one of the hardest parts of the entire circuit.
Oh yes, it's one of the toughest parts of the circuit. You got to get it absolutely perfectly right, because one slight mistake with the steering and you're just off track, and in the wall it's going to hurt you really badly. So you got to get absolutely perfectly right to get it done, to get that good lap time in you. or just really you're just trying to get around the lap so you don't go in the wall.
And there goes Baritone Boss, who tags the wall at the Nouvelle Chicane. He goes Optic Goblin on his way out. Bus Driver 2020, 1:20:31 as he roars through the tunnel at Monaco. What a lovely, lovely circuit here, Mitch, but certainly not a driver's favorite by any stretch of the imagination. And in a personal opinion, as Bus Driver just skips the entire Nouvelle Chicane there and going slow through the sector. In my opinion, tradition and one of the main reasons Formula One still comes back here, but despite the frustrations that this track provides, it is still one of not only the best looking venues in Formula One, but one of the most exciting.
Oh yes, it's one of those unique tracks. As you said, the history of it is half the reason why that Formula One still come to this circuit, because of the history with it. Been racing here for so long. And you're right, Monaco brings up something very special, and we're going to see that throughout the whole weekend, of course, with the free circuits. Is that Monaco's one of those tracks in the world where uniqueness, history, and something special can always come from it. And I think we could see a little bit of that here tonight.
Just fewer than 11 minutes remain in this race. K-Hawk 2030 coming down pit road. T2 Infiltrator slow through the tunnel section with a yellow flag in Sector 2. Not sure what sort of gamesmanship is up here. And Maverick Moose, the lone Canadian, on his outlap yet to put a time up on the board. Mitch, is this an advantage or a disadvantage for the Canadian with 10 minutes of the session gone and still no time?
Well, I mean, here at Monaco, I mean, sometimes no time. It could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, and he's going to try to see how he can go here, and if he can get a lap time down. Monaco sometimes starting the back is not really a bad thing to be in, especially if anything happens up ahead of you. So we'll see how he goes.
Maverick Moose headed down into the hairpin. Zachary 7007, despite the weak internet connection you can see from his jagged McLaren. Still at the top, 1:16:09. Baritone Boss, second fastest with 9.5 to play, 1:17:16. Optic Goblin now headed into the harbor section. Ace Petty 43 leaving the Nouvelle Chicane. Looking for a driver that's just about to start a lap here. And I'll tell you what, let's go on board with Mr. Slide Job, Mitch. The American is coming out of the final corner and starting a lap down the front straight.
Well, here at Monaco, you've got to get absolutely everything right. This is where the action's going to happen here tonight. He's actually improved to a 1:19.9, does Mr. Slide Job, so not too shabby in P6 right now. But coming up here, you've got to get it absolutely perfectly right here in the first sector. Slightly tapping the wall there, but it's still not too bad, especially these McLaren 1998 cars. And he's actually 2 tenths up in the first sector. And now coming to one of the toughest parts of the circuit right here, you got to get it absolutely perfect, which Mr. Slideshop did a very good job through there. Absolutely perfect. And now we're about to come through turn number 8 and now through the tunnel. It is one of the best parts of Formula One's calendar going through here. I can tell you that right now. It's just absolutely beautiful. And you don't want to hit the wall on the left right back there, because if you hit the wall on the left, you're going to be spinning around and you're going to cause absolute bedlam behind. As then we're coming up through here to the end of the middle sector, past the swimming pool on the right. The pit stops is on the right as well. And now coming up to the last few corners down, another corner here. You've got to get absolutely perfect. It's Monaco. Perfect is what you need to get the perfect lap time down, because it's a struggle. And Mr. Slideshow only 3 tenths down, but still in P6 right now, not doing too bad.
1:19.92, the only driver with a 1:19 right now sitting 6th. And there's Jump in the Fire 5th right now through the Nouvelle Chicane on his outlap. Optic Goblin with a 1:17.0 comes to a halt in Sector 1. Not sure what he's attempting here, but certainly coming to a halt and burning his tires in the middle of the racetrack. in Sector 1. Bit of a dangerous move. We'll see what the stewards adjudicate here at the end of qualifying. Baritone Boss now coming up, Beau Rivage with Ace Petty in the pits. Jump in the Fire now starts his timed lap with that fire red helmet and slams the turn 1 wall out of Saint-Devote. Mitch Vlad Poultry, 8th right now, slow out of the hairpin. Now there's Bus Driver 2020 starting a new lap here. 6.5 minutes now remain. And Mitch, for these drivers that have given it pretty much 2 or 3 rock solid attempts, when you're trying to squeeze blood out of a stone at Monaco, where is the best chance to make up time?
It's absolutely the best part to make up time around here. In my opinion, the best time to really make up time is in the last sector to get absolutely perfectly right, as that is Yotes retiring from qualifying. You got to absolutely get that last sector right, because the last sector there's a lot of time to gain through there, and if you get that perfectly right, you're on for a good lap. But all the way around, really, I think you can gain time pretty much all the way around here at Monaco. Everything you can get, and hopefully you can get time out of it.
5:45 to go. One driver going slow through the chicane. Not sure who that was, but that was one driver that was going incredibly slow through the Nouvelle chicane, going in reverse here as Blitzkrieg was going through that chicane. Big mistake there, and yellow flags all over the sector. It seems like this track just a bit too much for these drivers.
Optic Goblin, who's P2 right now, is actually out of fuel and trying to get back into the pit lane. With 5 minutes to go in the session, he'll have enough time to come back into the pits. But pretty much most of the drivers are in the pit lane right now, but a few others trying to see if they can nail down a good lap time here.
Bus driver now going through that very tight casino corner now into the Grand Hotel chicane. Vlad Poultry starting up another lap with 4 3/4 minutes to go. Jump in the Fire 88 coming through. Rascass finishing up his lap. And we've seen a couple drivers get hooked on that final corner there in Rascass, Mitch. Is that one of the more dangerous corners in this circuit?
Yes, you can absolutely get it wrong through there. You can hit the wall on the right and just go for a spin, really. That's what's going to happen through those last 2 corners. If you hit the wall on that right and you just spin it around, you're gone. Or if you go too deep, you're going to go onto the wall in the left, which we've seen a couple times here tonight. It's not easy to do, I can tell you that right now, because it's a very tough part of the circuit.
Just under 4 minutes left to play. Fans at home, thank you so much for joining us for this first night of the CluckClash Triple Crown. The majority of drivers in pit road right now. Optic Goblin on his way out. He'll have just 2 more attempts to best Zachary 7007. 1:16.09 on his pole lap. A full second quicker than Optic Goblin behind him. And this is just shades of Ayrton Senna at Monaco. The story that Senna put in such a blistering lap in the late 80s in his McLaren. 1 second faster than the competition. Nobody wanted to come out of the pits and beat his lap. That's according, I believe, to Martin Brundle in an interview with Jeremy Clarkson. Just the stuff of legends as Zachary tags the wall out of Casino into the hairpin.
And I'd like to point out here as well is that Zach did that lap. That was his first lap that he did in the session. So it shows you how good it really was.
We'll see if it stands. This lap certainly won't be faster. There's Optic Goblin 1:17.02 as Los Trevi retires from the session. Goblin is solid time through Piscine, now headed to Rascass. Doesn't clip the wall coming out of the final corner. Goblin does clip the wall out of the final corner, and that messes up what would otherwise be an exceptional lap. and certainly this next lap as well. So now Goblin must come around one more time to get a successful heater underway. Zachary 7007 comes down into the pits, and that will most likely be it for him. Baritone Boss giving it one more shot, Mitch.
Yeah, and luckily for these drivers, of course, these tyres on the McLaren 1998, it is a bit more nicer than being on the usual tyres of the normal cars. But yeah, Baritone Boss now trying to see what he can do. He's very close to Goblin for second right now. The margin between those two, very close. It's actually very close between second, third, and fourth right now. So it could be a good fight for second place in this race. We'll have to keep an eye on that throughout the race here tonight. But yeah, Baritone Boss trying to see what he can do here at the moment, and trying to see if he can maybe get close enough to Zachary's lap time.
1:17.16 as he now comes. He was green in that first sector, now purple in sector 2, headed out of that second sector through Piscine into Rascasse. This is where Optic Goblin messed up last lap and it killed his time. Baritone Boss out of the final sector 3. Goes green in that third sector, but he still stays third. This will be his last attempt, and Mitch, this is it for anybody else. They've got 43 seconds to cross the line and start one more fast lap.
Yeah, everyone's pretty much on their final laps right now, trying to see if they can improve here, trying to see if they can beat Zachary up the front. So we'll have to wait and see.
25 seconds remaining. Fans at home, we're going to take a short break. We'll stay ad-free, but we'll take a short break after this qualifying session. Mama Vols is in the chat. Mama, glad to have you here. Been quite the week for the Vols family. Big hug, all my love out to your family, Mama Vols. Qualifying is over. Checkered flag flies with 2:50 to go for these drivers to complete any on-track activity. Optic Goblin going to give it one more shot. Here's Baritone Boss's final attempt out of the final turn down the long straight. Baritone Boss, second, 1:16.98.
Very good job there by Baritone Boss. Moves up in the P2 ahead of Optic Goblin. And in the 16s with Zachary.
Jump in the fire, 88 with a 1:18.19. Looks rather slow through that last left-hander. Tags the wall into Piscine. Absolutely cuts the living daylights out of the curb. One driver who's stopped, and look at this. One driver who's stopped right there through Rascasse, and shades of Michael Schumacher right at the end, trying to end Jump in the Fire's lap.
He was about 4 or 5 turns up as well, so that'll be frustrating for Jump the Fire. He'll be very frustrated with that, and it looks like to me we pretty much are done here for qualifying.
That's going to put the closing touches on qualifying. There is your pole sitter with a 1:16.09. Zachary 7007 will come to complete his lap. Maverick Moose, last driver who was going to get an attempt, very slow through Rascasse, and he won't be any quicker. So that is going to be it, Mitch. Zachary on pole for the CluckClash Monaco Grand Prix.
Great lap too, 16.0 as I said before, did it on his first attempt. So very good job there. Very good lap, almost in the 15s. So we'll see if he can get away on pole position and take the win.
Yotes King in the chat says, what's up, Rick? Treewade saying hi to Bama Trama. Vols fan in here. The setup man says he's raced against Zach a lot, and he's a road course ringer, so we'll see what Zach comes up with in these final seconds. A little bit of a traffic jam up Beau Rivage. There's Optic Goblin waiting for the timer to come to a halt, and that's going to do it for us. And there is the qualifying session. Zachary by 9/10 of a second gets the pole. Fans at home, we're going to take a short little break here, and we'll be back for the formation lap and the start of the CluckClash Monaco Grand Prix. Formation lap underway. We're about to get the Monaco Grand Prix kicked off. Zachary 7007 starting in the front. Baritone Boss in second. Optic Goblin, Ace Petty jumping the fire, who just got messed up with some hard contact in Rascas in fifth. Night Sniper running in the sixth position. Slide Job in seventh. Vlad Poultry, Bus Driver, Yotes King rounding out the top 10. Blitzkrieg, Maverick Moose, T2 Infiltrator, and Los Trevi bringing up the rear. Mitch, this is it. Steal yourself. 14 1998 McLaren cars about to take on 78 laps of the Monaco Grand Prix circuit.
It's not going to be easy for any of these drivers. I mean, Zachary, we're looking like on the pace right now, but you got to get through 78 laps here at Monaco, and it's not easy. You got to get that done. So it's gonna. I have a feeling we're going to see chopper changes in the lead here. So it'll be very much look forward to in this Grand Prix.
With drivers only on one dry compound, no pit stops are required to keep these drivers on only one compound or more than one. Rain will not be a factor in the forecast today. 78 laps of pure driving. What a night. Zachary 7007 out of the final corner, getting set up, waiting for the lights, waiting to kick this off. Mitch, I hope we survive lap number 1.
I hope we do too. Hope we will survive. Hope everyone survives. We'll have to wait and see. And we're going to wait for Los Trevi to line up in the 14th position.
Zachary 7007 at the front of this one. All 14 cars locked in. Watch the lights. 5 lights up. 5 lights down, and the CluckClash Triple Crown is underway in the Principality. Zachary 7007 getting off to a good jump. Baritone Boss in second, now side by side, and all those McLaren, Mercedes now through this field. Up Beau Rivage for the first time, screaming at 17,000 RPMs. Round the casino corner. So far, so good. One car getting loose, another one making contact. It's Bus Driver 2020 who gets out of sorts and makes contact with the guardrail. Side by side, headed out of casino into the Grand Hotel hairpin. Everybody so far, so good. Passing attempts underway that looks like Jump in the Fire that tried to make a passing attempt in the hairpin. Still single file, drivers trying to sort themselves out. Infiltrator up 2 positions. Maverick Moose and Los Trevi losing spots after the start. Zachary uncontested through the Nouvelle Chicane, and Optic Goblin cutting the track all too well through the Nouvelle chicane, trying to make a passing opportunity happen, slamming the wall towards Piscine and Mitch. What a terrible start for some of these drivers.
Jump in the fire around as well for turns 10 and 11, so that's a shame for him. He'll have to try to come through the field of many drivers throughout the field at the moment. But Zachary absolutely doing a superb job at the moment, trying to pull that gap to make sure he's got a good gap over the rest of the field.
2.3 seconds now the gap. It's 1 second between Baritone Boss and Optic Goblin in the third position. Ace Petty sitting in fourth. 0.6 of a second is the gap between himself and the podium positions. And Mitch, with this being a 100% length race, these drivers will have to exercise patience more than anything else.
Yes, patience is going to be an absolutely crucial thing, and that's one thing Zachary at the front will be wanting to do. If he can hold on to that patience, he can hold on to that lead and pull away at the front. But yeah, patience, very critical, especially around Monaco.
Mr. Night Sniper 5 in one of those McLarens, currently running in the 5th position. He's in front of Slide Job 1996. And folks, we're talking about points, we're talking about CluckClash. Let's explain how those points go if you were here for that conversation in qualifying. This is a Triple Crown event, so drivers will be racing 3 events. Tonight at Monaco, there's a big crash in Rascas. Looks like Slide Job there, forgetting he has a brake pedal on his race car. And now getting in the front of Yotes King through Rascas, who slams the wall. Contact in the final corner. He gets tagged by Blitzkrieg. 3 abreast down the front straight. These drivers really making a hash of it just a few laps into this race. Already more contact through Saint-Devote. Mitch, clearly these guys have never seen a Formula One race before. There is no patience being exercised by these pilots.
Well, it's absolute chaos at the moment, but not too chaotic at the moment. It's been pretty good so far. Just a few drivers making mistakes, and it's just causing absolute drama behind. But everyone's steady as she goes at the moment. And yeah, jumping the fire now, missed up a couple of positions because of what happened there. But wow, almost could have been chaotic at the start of this race. But things stay steady for now.
Ace Petty 43, now 0.7 of a second behind Optic Goblin. These two going to be battling for that third and final podium position. And by now, Mitch, I've completely forgotten what we're talking about here. Refresh my memory.
The points.
Yes, thank you so much. The points for CluckClash. So, first place will be awarded 20 points. Second place awarded 18 points. Third gets 17 points. Fourth, 16. Fifth, 15. And then it's 10 points for 6th place on back. So, first, obviously getting the lion's share of the points, but if you finish 6th through 14th, it's just 10 points. So it's almost like the Formula One points system, Mitch, where these drivers really need to be on their game.
Yeah, they have to really be on their game. You want to get that good start, especially when we've got 2 big circuits to come, that being Indianapolis. And so I think, you know, you've got to absolutely get everything right around here at Monaco to get the best out of the opportunity. And we're going to see that here tonight so far. We're only on lap 478. There's still a long way to go for these drivers to make it home. And so we'll have to see who can really manage their best.
Optic Goblin now 1 second ahead of Ace Petty as the gap is starting to grow larger. However, the battle for 8th getting closer as Bus Driver losing that gap to Jump in the Fire, who's been quick, Mitch, in 9th place, but we've seen him with already some unfortunate luck this time, going through Piscine a bit too quickly. Now headed into Rascas, he's closed that gap to half a second. There's the mistake from Bus Driver right through Rascas, and he's right on his tail. But remember, there's the pass right there. Excellent patience exercised by Bus Driver, just letting the opponent go. Yotes King also taking advantage of a last corner mistake, and he breaks the top 10 with Blitzkrieg right behind him up the hill of Beau Rivage.
Absolutely jumping the 5 minutes up. Yotes missed up as well. Very nicely done on those moves by those two drivers. And now they're going to see if they can gain some more time. Jumping the 5's got 4 seconds to get up the road of Mr. Slidrop.
4 seconds, quite a gap up to Mr. Slidejob. There is Mr. Slidejob now out of the hairpin section through the tunnel. As you can see, 5 laps underway in the Principality. Vlad Poultry taking a bit of an extracurricular line through Nouvelle Chicane. And Mitch, that's something that's interesting, is watching these drivers really flirt between taking the advantage from the corner and just flat out cutting the corner. And it is a very, very dangerous game indeed. The rules are on. I believe it's 3 warnings and then a 2-second time penalty.
Yes, it is regular on at the moment. So you can take a little bit of a cheeky cut here, which is okay because strict is a little bit, well, strict here at Monaco. I can tell you that from experience. As Yotes is actually around at the moment, coming out of Raskas. It's shame for him. He was moving up through the field and now he has to try to gain all that time back that he pretty much has now lost.
Drivers also need to maintain those tires. The fuel obviously will go the distance here, but the tires are something else. Is Zachary pushing it just a bit too hard, too fast? We can see he can put through a blistering lap, but is it too blistering? No way to check on that tire wear for this number one position, McLaren, Mitch. But so far, 3.7-second lead, 7 laps into this race tells us one of 2 things. He's either the best driver on this grid by a mile, or those tires will not go the distance.
Well, it's going to be one of those things where, I mean, we're on lap 7 of 78 right now. I've said this before, Monaco's one of those tracks where you can't guarantee victory pretty much till lap 78 because anything can happen in your race. You can make one big mistake, you can be in the wall, you can be around, it can hurt you. So you've got to absolutely get everything perfectly right here in Monaco. And yeah, the tyres are going to be an interesting story throughout this one to keep an eye on.
In 1988, through this corner right here, Ayrton Senna, who was leading the Monaco Grand Prix by several seconds over his teammate and rival Alain Prost, made an error in judgment and binned his MP44 into the wall right as he overlooked the Mediterranean, and one of Senna's most hard moments for him to take, something that we hope doesn't happen to Zachary 7007, but you get the same vibes, Mitch, as he scrapes the wall out of Piscine and now through Rascasse. He is living life on the edge, and he will not be able to keep this up for another 70 laps.
And he's hitting those curves very hard, absolutely hitting them very aggressively, trying to get every possible best opportunity he can get, but he's got to be careful of hitting those curves because one slight mistake hitting those curves, you can be around.
Through Hotel and 4.7 seconds back as Vlad Poultry now makes a move, and there's contact there. Night Sniper making contact with the wall out of Rascasse, misjudging that. Now jumping the fire, making contact with the inside wall. He's losing the position to Night Sniper, who's just gone around him. Look at these 3 cars here. Slidejob taking a big cut through Saint-Devote. Night Sniper jumping the fire, 7th and 8th behind the 6th place Mr. Slidejob. These 3 cars giving us a show, Mitch.
Yeah, it was a mistake from Night Sniper coming out of Rascasse. He just went way too deep and went into the wall. That allowed Vlad Poultry to go through into a top 5 position. But yeah, these 3 all near each other here at the moment, trying to see who can do what here right now on lap 8.
Night Sniper 5 closing the gap to Mr. Slidejob 1996 while jumping the fire in the 8th position behind Night Sniper, headed to the Nouvelle Chicane. Mitch hanging on with Night Sniper 5. Where is he going to find his best passing opportunity?
Well, he's going to look for maybe even a mistake from Mr. Slidejob, because it's one of those things here at Monaco where a mistake is going to be so crucial in this one at the moment. So we'll see how it all pans out for him. But the best opportunity is going to be turn one if you can get the good run. And into turn one, you're going to make the move. And there you go, Mr. Slide Job with a mistake, but it came back on to the right of him. And Night Sniper just had nowhere to go. And does he look for the move here at turn one? No, he does not for now, but he has to worry about jumping the fire behind.
And now everyone catching up to Vlad Poultry, who finds himself 22 seconds off the top four. Vlad, who's going to be running into some complications here. If these three catch up to him, they can now see him in the distance despite being 2.5 seconds behind. Now headed into the Grand Hotel hairpin, jumping the fire. He's been mired in this traffic way too long. Look how close they get through the hairpin. Such a tough corner for me. I always mess up when I drive this personally. I always mess up the entrance to the hairpin. Why is it so difficult, and how can a driver maximize that line?
Well, at the moment, Night Sniper's, well, we'll hold back on Night Sniper at the moment. It has, yeah, it's one of those tough parts of the track where you just, I agree with you. I struggle through there as well. You just got to get it absolutely perfectly right, and it can hurt you so bad with a mistake you can make. As now Night Sniper makes a mistake in the curb too hard, I believe, and Jump in the Fire goes up into P7 now. And Mr. Slide Job goes to the wall, and here comes Jump in the Fire now to make the move. Great racing between these three at the moment, and it could be 3 wide.
Into the first corner. Jump in the Fire now out of Sandevote with the 6th place position, and they've closed the gap to Vlad Poultry now at the top of Beau Rivage. There's Jump in the Fire, 1.65 seconds behind as the sun splashes a kaleidoscope of sunshine and color all through the unshaded areas of the gorgeous principality of virtual Monaco. Mr. Slide Job, 1996. Taking a very tight corner through the hairpin, and there you see Night Sniper getting that inside move. And Mitch, one more time, if these drivers could not so rudely interrupt us next time around, as Yotes King making the move on Maverick Moose for position here. Here we have a great shot of the hairpin, Mitch. What is so difficult about this corner?
You got to absolutely get right. That wall on the left and the wall on the left right there as well. You can hit those walls so easily and just bang, you're gone. I mean, yes, there's no damage here at the moment on this race here tonight, but still, if you hit that wall, you're gone. You're going to spin with hitting that wall. So you've got to get it absolutely right. And if you can get it absolutely right, you've got a great run to try to go for the move coming through the end of the middle sector. So it's such a tough part of the circuit.
3 cars now become 4 with Jump in the Fire 0.3 of a second behind Vlad Poultry, and then it's another 30 seconds to the leader. Here comes Jump in the Fire headed into Casino. Mitch, he's going to have sunlight. Oh, and he makes contact with the corner there. You saw it too, man. I was going to say he's going to have sunlight showing between himself and Vlad Poultry coming into the Lowe's hairpin, Grand Hotel hairpin, excuse me. But Jump in the Fire has been closing this gap all too quickly. Where's going to be the next passing opportunity?
It's going to be, if you get out of the tunnel here very good, you can absolutely try to go for the move here right now. And Jump in the Fire will try, but he hits the wall. Can he look for it? No, he cannot. There's just no space at the moment to look for it. But turn one, the best opportunity. All right, here right now, he might try and look for the opportunity. Round the outside, but here comes Mr. Slide Job in this fight. And an absolute great battle here at the moment. Mr. Slide Job moves up into P6.
Slamming the wall like Piscine, and there's Slide Job struggling to control his hot rod into Rascass all over the shop. Will he clip a tire? Almost. Incredibly slow, holding up Jump in the Fire out of the corner. Big slide for Slide Job, and that cost him the position. Jump in the Fire saw it coming. He took the opportunity and now has 6th place into Beau Rivage, into Sandevote. Vlad Poultry now with some respite up Beau Rivage.
Yeah, Vlad Poultry doing very well at the moment, and Jump in the Fire still holding on behind Mr. Slide Job as well. Night Sniper has lost some time behind these guys. There's now Jump in the Fire makes the move.
Jump in the Fire, jumping the gap. He didn't mind it at all, and he now overtakes Vlad Poultry, and now he must get away from Vlad in the blue helmeted McLaren behind him, but then the black, red, and white helmet of Slide Job now to the inside of Vlad Poultry for 6th, headed into Nouvelle Chicane. Vlad Poultry almost not hard enough on the brakes, taking a very extracurricular line through Nouvelle Chicane. The boats in the harbor saw that from the water, and Vlad Poultry having to give up the fight. He'll tag the wall in the left-hander before Piscine. And Mr. Slide Job 1996 now into 5th. What happened? Jump in the Fire's gone around Mitch.
Yeah, must have hit the wall just behind there and has spun it. And wow, Jump in the Fire, another spin here tonight, and we'll have to do all that work over again.
Not only that, Mitch, he must have cooked those tires coming out of that incident.
Oh yeah, would have absolutely cooked those tires to come around and tried to get back onto the front. And now he looks for the move here on Bus Driver 2020, and there's contact, and Bus Driver 2020 is around.
Bus Driver 2020 now in 10th. Here comes Maverick Moose, who's closing that gap up to Bus Driver, who's still stuck out of Saint-Devote. Now up the hill into Beau Rivage. He makes way like a gentleman should. And now the fight with Maverick Moose, Bus Driver, and Yotes King headed into Casino. These three McLarens inches apart, Mitch.
Very close here at the moment. Oh, Maverick hits the wall, and that's almost open an opportunity for Yotes, but he couldn't get by. And it's very intense here at the moment. More contact a little bit there and in the wall. And Yotes now trying to see what he can do to try and get past Maverick here for P11.
Yotes King all over the back of Maverick Moose. Half a second now between them, 14 laps underway in the Principality.
And a mistake from Optic Goblin. He's actually spun it, I believe, coming out of turn 4. So that brings Ace Petty up into P3 now. And those two, Optic Goblin was actually pulling away from Ace Petty, but now Optic Goblin has to try to catch back up to Ace Petty for the 3rd position.
3.5 seconds between Ace Petty and Optic Goblin. Now Petty taking it cool as a cucumber now that he reaches harbor level. Baritone Boss 6 1/3 seconds behind Zachary, who now completes the 14th lap of competition. 15 laps underway, and it looks like Zachary's about to overtake some drivers here. This is where it could get difficult to tell who's who. Fans, bear with us as we'll try to give you the most accurate description possible. This is Maverick Moose and Los Trevi now coming out of Casino Corner.
And I believe, well, there you go. Ghosting is not told, so this makes it a difficult task here for Zachary to go for the move. As Night Snipers, oh, Zachary's, oh dear, he's got caught up with a lapped car. And I told you, this is going to make things very interesting now in this race. Baritone Boss will now get to close that margin down. This is what makes Monaco very interesting now. 1.8 seconds for the lead. And Zachary now, he's going to have some work to do here to get past those lapped cars.
Baritone Boss now 1.7 seconds behind Zachary. He's closed that gap up incredibly. But Mitch, my question is, was that a passing attempt going into the Lowe's hairpin?
He tried to look for the move. This is the tough thing about Monaco, is you got to absolutely try your hardest to get these moves done. You've got to be patient with them. You've got to be absolutely patient with passing these lapped cars, because as we saw there with Zachary, it could hurt you badly.
Zachary now leading by 3.5 seconds. He extends that gap, touching the wall out of Saint-Devote. Ace Petty now on the front straight with Optic Goblin, 2.6 seconds behind. Now Night Sniper, 3/10 behind Slide Job, headed to Nouvelle. Mitch.
Can he look for the move? He can't at the moment. He tried to think about it. And these drivers now taking the line and trying to see where their best opportunity is at the moment. Night Sniper, the first one of getting a penalty here tonight here at Monaco. And so Night Sniper trying to get his best opportunity to see if he can make this move on Mr. Slide Job for a top 5.
Night Sniper sitting in the 6th position, 16 laps underway in the Principality. One of the closest fights we have on track. Night Sniper not trying it into Sandevote, but Mr. Slyjob taking a very close line on those curbs. Now you say, Mitch, Night Sniper with the first penalty of the day?
Yes.
3 seconds, I assume.
Yes.
Now, for those unaware or those who have not seen Formula One, 3 seconds will be added to the end of Night Sniper's finishing time. So regardless of what happens in the next 60 laps of this race, Night Sniper will have 3 seconds added on. So, for example, Vlad Paltry, who finds himself 3.5 seconds behind Night Sniper, if the race were to end now, he would finish less than a second behind Night Sniper with the 3-second penalty. Jump in the fire, 88. Now he's right on Vlad Paltry's tail. Mitch, they're getting into the tightest part of the racetrack.
Close battles here for P5 and for P7 here at the moment. Jump in the fire, trying to see if he can get this move done here. Vlad Paltry, if he possibly can, he might look for it here. No, he lifts back for now. Patience, as we said before, is the key to Monaco and having a good race. And that's what we're seeing right now with some of these drivers as the times go on. But Jump in the Fire looks for the move here on Vlad Paltry and gets it done and moves up into P7.
Gets up into P7, now 17 laps underway in the Principality. Race 1 of the Chicken Foot CluckClash Triple Crown being shown here on F1 2019. If you're just joining us, I'm Rick James, joined by everyone's favorite Australian, Mitch, bringing you uninterrupted coverage of the next 60 laps of coverage from the Principality. What a race we've had so far.
It's absolutely, yeah, it's a fantastic race here at the moment. We've got a few storylines in this right now. It's Zachary Baritone Boss. Zachary not pulling away at the moment. It's still around 3.2 seconds, so it's still a good fight up the front. And Ace Penny and Optic Goblin will fight it out, I believe, at some point for P3. But it is a great fight outside the top 5, 5th and 6th. And a few others down the field as well. So still a lot of action going on here at the moment on lap 18 of 78.
Mitch, it seems like the drivers have finally settled down. Drivers finally have gotten comfortable in these race cars, now especially that they have spread out as well. Even during their overtaking periods, drivers seem to have gotten just a bit of calmness, if you can call it. Now that Night Sniper is back on Mr. Slyjob 1996, you can expect a more patient attempt for the pass, but with Jump in the Fire behind him, time is of the essence. Now, where's his best chance to pass this time? Is it into Nouvelle? Will it be into turn 1?
It's going to absolutely be into Nouvelle. I think turn 1 another opportunity as well. And Night Sniper's around. Spins, and I think he just went a bit too deep into Mr. Slyjob and lost the rear, and he now moves down into P8, so he's going to have to try to move back his way back up through the field through Vlad Paltry and Jump in the Fire. But Jump in the Fire now catching up to Mr. Slyjob for P5.
Mr. Slyjob now in that 5th position, trying to make his way further up towards the podium positions. Night Sniper sitting 8th. There's Jump in the Fire, just 3/10 behind. Slyjob coming into the 19th lap of competition in the Principality, down the front straight, and this could be the attempt, Mitch.
Well, we thought about it, but again, patience is the key, and he's been very patient here at the moment to try to look for the move here on Mr. Slyjob. And he might try to look up here on the hill. No, it's not enough for now. He may look for it here coming up right now. If he gets the perfect run, he does not. So he lifts back for now behind Mr. Slyjob.
Not the worst place for him to be, though, Mitch, because you can surmise that he'll just sit there and keep the pressure on Mr. Slyjob 1996. We've seen both of these drivers make mistakes before, and Is it difficult keeping your concentration when you have a driver that close for this long period of time?
I mean, look at it this way as well, is that the margin's 48 seconds up till P4, so these two are gonna, I have a feeling we're gonna see some battles here. We're gonna see these two trying to stay focused of each other. And I think we're going to see a long fight here because they know they're most likely going to be battling here for P5 for most of the race. We're on lap 20 of 78, so you got to be patient to when you think you need to make those moves.
Jump in the fire now behind. Slide job headed into Sandevote. He gets the inside using the toe. Contact between them in Sandevote. Up Beau Rivage. Slide job now on the attack, headed up the hill into Casino. Mitch, where does Slide get him back?
He's going to maybe try to look through here right now if he can get the good momentum. And he's had a moment into the wall, but holds onto it for now. And he's lost a bit of that gap. Jump in the fire now. He's going to try to pull away if he possibly can, as Maverick moves, gets a time penalty down in P12 at the moment.
Optic Goblin in the 4th position, chasing down Ace Petty. 6/10 after they get through Beau Rivage is what remains between them, and this could be one of the crucial battles in the race, Mitch. Up high in the running order, a mistake could be fatal, so both of these drivers must be precise, headed toward the hairpin.
Yes, we saw early in the race, Optic Goblin was in P3 and then made a mistake and spun, which allowed Ace Petty to move up into position. Yotes can get a time penalty, who's down in P10. But yeah, Optic Goblin, got to be patient here to make this move here on Ace Petty. Still a long way to go. And as you said, a very important move this could be for the race.
21 laps underway in Monaco. Let's check on those penalties. Oh, and it looks like, I think we're used to Formula 1 2020 where it does show us those penalties, and here it necessarily does not. But Mitch, give us a rundown on those penalties and let us know where we're at penalty-wise.
Yeah, so I'll keep you updated throughout the race. It is a bit more difficult for us on this game, but we will still keep you updated through it. I believe it's Night Sniper with a penalty so far. That'd be 3 seconds penalty so far. Yotes King as well, and Maverick Moose. I believe those are the only 3 with a time penalty for now, but we will keep you updated throughout if especially any of the top runners get a penalty.
Let's turn on the telemetry and go for a lap here through Monaco. Zachary 7007 coming through the tunnel section. Let's find a driver who's just about to start a lap here. Maverick Moose now through Sandevote, taking a very close turn 1, Mitch. Let's follow along with a Canadian and see how he races around Monaco.
I will keep an eye on Tech as well because he's getting up to some traffic. But yeah, Maverick Moose now looking very nicely and smooth at the moment. This is looking like a very smooth lap actually from him, trying to keep the car straight as Yotes King up ahead spun around, so we may see Maverick Moose maybe move up here very shortly, but not too bad for Maverick Moose. He's got to keep it very smooth. Monaco, if you have a smooth car, you feel the car very good and you can just feel the perfect lap in you, and you can get the best time out of it. And that's why Maverick missed as well. He'll have to also try to not do a little bit too much of hitting the wall if he cannot, because he could maybe try to catch up the Yotes King up ahead. He does hit the wall there on the right, and now coming through here, if you can hit these curves perfectly and get the good run through, you're going to gain some time. And it looks like Maverick Mist has done that so far. And you see hit the wall at Raskas. That's not what you want to be. And he gets it back going, however. And back on the front straight and pulls away. A couple of penalties to come through, including Mr. Style Job in P6. But Maverick Moose trying to keep it going on his own world here in this race. And he's got Lost Trevi behind for P13, catching up to him.
Vlad Poultry and Night Sniper nose to tail through Piscine, trying to get away from one another, but just so difficult, and Vlad Poultry losing the position to Night Sniper, now trying to get him back through Raskas. Vlad Poultry can't use the horn of his McLaren to get past Night Sniper, and Night Sniper maintains that spot, while Slyjob losing his grip on 5th. Optic Goblin back up to Ace Petty. These two 7/10 removed from each other. 24 laps now underway at Monaco.
And Zachary lost a little bit of time in that traffic at the moment. We could tell you now that traffic's going to be a big story throughout this part right now, especially when Zachary and Baritone Boss are around about 4 or 5 lapped cars at the moment. So it's going to be very fascinating to see how it all goes down here at the moment. But yes, Optic Goblin now closing down here on Ace Petty for P3 still. So these two could maybe just play cat and mouse with each other and stay behind for a bit more of this race.
Coming to the 25th lap of competition, Optic Goblin, who has been near those podium positions all evening long. Again, let's go through the points that we have tonight. A very unique point system for these drivers in the CluckClash. It is going to be a 3-night event, and the most points at the end of 3 races wins. Tonight at Monaco, tomorrow night at Indianapolis for the 500 miles there, and then Sunday night at Charlotte for the 600 miles, as Optic Goblin is now on the tailpipes of Ace Petty through Rascasse. And Optic Goblin just hits those brakes way too hard, Mitch. Just slammed him to a complete stop, and now he finds himself 1.5 seconds removed after closing the gap to 3rd.
And I think there's a little bit of contact maybe there as well between the two, but he holds back for now, and he's going to have to wait for his opportunity once again. So Optic Goblin has to find his way past Ace Petty somehow.
1.5 seconds between them, and again, to bring up those points, first place today gets 20 points in the Triple Crown. Second place will get 18. Third place will get 17 points. 16, then 15 points for 4th and 5th, respectively. 6th place on back all gets 10 points. And then those points transfer through as Zachary 7007 has lost first, Mitch. Baritone Boss, for the first time today, gets into the lead, and for the first time today, Baritone Boss is the new leader at Monaco. Zachary with a slew of fans in the chat today. The setup man, Puggy, cheering for Zach, also cheering for Night Sniper as well, and Palmetto Racing also cheering for Zach. But look at this, Baritone Boss breaking away into Casino.
Yeah, apologies for that, Rick. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it was a mistake on his own or traffic hurt him there. I said this before, this is going to be the story of Monaco. You can't guarantee victory until lap 78, and we're only on lap 26 now, so these two are going to have a titanium battle throughout the rest of this race. It's going to be all about who can be the smarter one, who can maintain their track position. It's not going to be easy, and Zachary just got to be patient for now. He was in the lead, but if he can be patient, he could still win this race. He's hit the back of Baritone Boss, and he's gone way too deep there, and we do not want to see that.
No idea what Zachary's thinking there, Mitch. That's from my seat, that's quite an easy mistake to avoid. But here he is just barreling into Baritone Boss, almost making the same mistake through Rascasse, and that's one more McLaren holding up these leaders. Again, fans will try and keep you posted on who the lead McLaren is. 27 laps now underway in the Principality, and Zachary now stuck behind a lapped car headed up Beau Rivage.
Yeah, the lap car is going to be a big factor here, Mr. Slyjob. Look at this, Zachary trying to get through on Mr. Slyjob. It's not going to be easy. There's a bit of contact between the two, a bit of biff in all that, but Baritone Boss now up and still in the lead, and now clean air for now for these drivers. There are 2 lapped cars coming up here very soon for these two again, as Maverick Moose gets a time penalty. So it's going to be one of those stories where it's just going to keep on going throughout this race.
61 laps to go this time by at Monaco. Baritone Boss, Zachary 7007 separated by 5-6 seconds all afternoon long. Now Zachary really caning it through the Nouvelle Chicane. Luckily, he gets on the brakes that time and doesn't plow into his lead rival. But now chasing him down through Piscine, he's going to have a great chance into Santivo.
Yeah, he's gone very deep into the corners right now on the brakes. He's got to be careful of doing that just in case if he hits the back of Baritone Boss at the moment. But it's still in the lead for Baritone Boss at the moment on lap 28 of 78, closing in on the halfway mark of this race. But yeah, Baritone Boss doing a nice job to hold on to Zachary right now. But Zachary looks like he's hungry to make this move.
He can be as hungry as he wants, Mitch. Patience is that Monegasque virtue, if you will. And I'll tell you what, a special sight. It is difficult looking at these McLarens and trying to tell who's who except from the helmets, but it does bring a bit of nostalgia thinking about Mika Hakkinen and David Coulthard. What a special partnership that was in 1998, and the rivalry between himself and Michael Schumacher. And according to James May, Mika Hakkinen was the only driver that Michael Schumacher feared. What is this? Was that Zachary 7007 again missing the braking zone into Nouvelle? Mitch, what's happening here? That is two mistakes, two novice mistakes in 3 attempts.
He's got, through there, he's got to be very patient with the brakes where he's braking at the moment because it's costing him.
60 laps now remain in Monaco. Zachary again on the tail end of Baritone Boss, and he's just overcooked it into Nouvelle one more time. And this time, he didn't have Baritone Boss to act as the brake for him headed into Nouvelle. Now through Casino, we'll see if Zachary keeps his composure this time around, but he seems to be just trying a bit too hard, and Baritone Boss almost losing that race car as well. I think both of these drivers could benefit from some deep breathing exercises.
And I want to point out as well, the battle for third is still raging on between Ace Petty and Optic Goblin behind as well. Those two are absolutely going at it with each other, but it's very more patient in that pack at the moment. But yeah, Zachary now just trying to see if he can he's gone a bit too deep through the chicane, as you said, and just trying to get as much time as he can, but it could cost him in the end.
Another 3-second penalty for Mr. Slide Job. That's multiple warnings. He must be up, I believe, to about 6 seconds. Mitch, go ahead and correct me if I'm incorrect.
Yes, correct.
Up to 6 seconds, and Maverick Moose, I believe, is up to 9 if I haven't lost count with that one.
Yes, I believe so.
29 laps now become 30 laps at Monaco. 49 laps remain in this race. No, I'm sorry. 59, I believe. I can't do math. Zachary's still sitting 1 1/3 seconds behind now. It seems like he's gotten a bit more of a clear head. Optic Goblin still within 1 second as Blitzkrieg picks up a 3-second time penalty. The top 4, the closest of all the battles, although it is a full minute behind Optic Goblin and Jump in the Fire. And Mitch, this 58-second gap between 5th and 4th respectively just details, I think, who practiced and who didn't coming into this race.
I think yes and no. I think the first half of this race, it was an almighty battle for P5, so you've got to play that into part of it as well. I think if that battle did not happen, it probably would have been only about 28 seconds, 30 seconds, but still, yes, you are correct. But still, top 5, no matter what, is still a very good performance, especially for Jump in the Fire right now, who has spun it twice and is doing very nicely in P5 right now, and he's just going to keep going on here on lap 30 to try and see if he can keep that top 5 position.
Yotes King, who was within 1 second of Bus Driver and getting closer, hooks his McLaren MP13 on the wall in Casino Corner, and now he is 10 seconds behind Bus Driver, and just like that, and quite literally the blink of an eye, all your hard work can be ruined. Zachary 7007 just 1 second behind Baritone Boss as they get around another driver. 16 seconds adrift is Ace Petty, and then half a second behind him, Optic Goblin. 2 battles that could shape the podium at the end of the evening.
Yeah, I think we're going to see. I think Zachary it might get this move done here on Baraton Boss soon, but I feel like Optic Goblin's going to be patient throughout this race. I mean, he's been behind Ace Penny for a good 10 or so laps now. I think Optic Goblin's going to be patient for a bit and see how things go. But as we've seen already, Zachary, don't know if he's patient at the moment, but it's been around the second gap, so he might be taking it easy for now because we're not even close to the halfway point and there's still a bit more to go as he goes into the wall trying to get close to Baraton Boss here.
Trying a bit too hard in these closing laps. Ace Petty sitting third, 16.16 seconds behind. Optic Goblin in fourth, and then, sorry, Mitch, go ahead.
And I was just about to say, there is a lap car coming up here at the moment, but Zachary's going to try to look for the move side by side. These two will go, and Zachary will take the lead back. No, Baraton Boss looks to fight him back. Oh, these two, great racing so far. A little bit of contact there. Very good job by these two, and Baraton Boss will hold on, Willie. Zachary, though, looking to fight it back. Goes deep and gets it done. A great move from Zachary, and Baraton Boss now moves back down to P2.
In the hotel hairpin, no less, Zachary with 0.4 of a second lead. Now 0.3. Baritone Boss has a tow headed into Nouvelle Chicane. He's going to try and get him back, trying to outbreak him on the outside into Nouvelle. Zachary with a very wide entrance, more contact there. Zach being all too selfish with the racing surface in Nouvelle Chicane, and he comes away with the lead. Now headed into Piscine, but Mitch, I will remind you and everybody, and especially myself, before I get too excited, Zachary has made crucial mistakes today that has taken the lead away and kept him behind. It is his race to lose. 33 laps now underway in Monaco.
Yeah, it's his race to lose traffic. He's got to get through that traffic a little bit better because I don't think he really has in this race so far. And he's going to be patient with that because Baraton Boss can come through on him very easily. Behind, Optic Goblin actually had a spin and hit the wall. So he's now back to 5 seconds behind Ace Petty. So he's got to do that work again to catch up to Ace Petty here for P2. For P3, excuse me. As Baraton Boss now still staying at the back of Zachary.
Baritone Boss 0.3 behind Zachary out of hairpin, headed into the tunnel, and then Nouvelle. Baritone scratches the wall with those tires. Now headed to Nouvelle, and you can see the gap just increasing, but Zachary is coming up to lap traffic. Excellent chicane for Baritone Boss. Now watch him close the gap through Piscine.
Yeah, Baraton Boss trying to see if he can stick with him here at the moment. It's just not enough here right now. But if he loses time anyway, he could still get it back when we're still on lap 33 and come up to lap 34.
34 laps now underway. We'll reach, Mitch, when do we reach halfway here? I believe 39?
9, yes.
39 is when we reach halfway. And there's one car that's gone around in Rascasse. Can't tell who that was. One car slow out of the hairpin. It looked like Maverick Moose once again. The Canadian grabbing heavy curb out of the final corner. Zachary with a four-wheel drift headed into the hairpin, and another lapped car up ahead. How can Baritone Boss use that lap traffic as a pick, Mitch?
He's got to hope for Zachary to be held by that lap traffic very much. And if Zachary can't get by, if the door opens, Baritone Boss will go for it.
Baritone Boss, 0.6 of a second behind Zachary, and there's Baritone Boss who tags the wall through the Nouvelle Chicane, and the gap doubles from 0.8 to 1.7 or 1.7 seconds. Ace Petty 20 seconds behind Baritone Boss, so Baritone secure in his second place spot. Ace Petty in third, and now through the Nouvelle Chicane, Optic Goblin some 7 seconds behind, and then the gaps increase from there. But Zachary 7007 catching a big break 35 laps into this race and jumping the fire up ahead in the 5th position.
And Zachary now makes that move on Drop of the Fire, who's Drop of the Fire now is going a lap down. But Baraton Boss getting 2.3 seconds. So it's not over yet. The margin early in the race was 6 seconds between those two. So Baraton Boss just needs to be patient. He could come back to him.
Want to give a big shout out to all the new followers as well. Puggy878, Faint Cascade, Katarina _24, all following here within the last hour. Vols fan hosting, The Good Slayer following, Young Trevi as well following, Trey Wade, Blitz K, I believe that's Jenny Rick Chedai, all following today just before the show. Thank you all so much. We appreciate you so much. And we also need to talk about the folks over at DI9 Designs. You saw their logo before the race, and you'll see it after the race as well. Also, if you take a look in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you can see that logo. Now, DI9 Designs is a Chase Elliott custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at DI9 Designs. They post graphics on all platforms multiple times a week, as well as taking requests on most types of logos, Chase Elliott wallpapers, and iRacing schemes. Follow them and DM them for more details. They are not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott. Check them out, DI9 Designs on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Zachary 7007, 2.8 seconds ahead. And Mitch, this was the exact situation we faced ourselves with before Zachary had that spin and lost the lead to Baritone.
He actually just did the fastest lap of the race, Zachary, actually. So he's now trying to push away here from Baritone Boss at the moment. So he's shown his speed here on lap 35, or we're on lap 36 now, but he's trying to pull away. Baritone Boss is still sticking with him. So it's not over yet, as I said before. So as I said, it's going to be traffic's going to be a factor. It's going to be all about getting the lap 78. And Baritone Bosses was just behind bus driver 2020 and got lost a big chunk of time. So it shows you right now, if you're behind that lap traffic and you lose time, it could cost you hugely around here.
4 seconds now the gap between first and second place. And certainly a lot of time to make up for Baritone Boss. Ace Petty, 18 seconds adrift, but consistent nonetheless, Mitch. He may not be keeping up with first and second, but I don't think I've seen him move from third or fourth place since lights out.
Yeah, and the big thing for him right now is Optic Goblin behind has just made another mistake and was in the wall and lost a bunch of time. So this has been good for Ace Petty. He'll be happy to see that because now he's in P3. He can just be patient with himself and he can pull away as much as he can and hold on to that P3 because a P3 is a very good job, especially around here.
Cole, MF Trickle says, this was a genius idea. I'm liking it here, sir. Puggy giving the thumbs up in the chat. And Mitch, for Ace Petty, who's 17 seconds ahead of the competition and almost 19 seconds behind the competition, he's almost in endurance mode. It's him and the track, almost a test, if you will. He literally could not see any drivers around him if he tried. Now, he just needs to set not necessarily fast laps, but consistent laps.
Yeah, it needs to set consistent laps, especially if Optic Goblin gets back up to the back of him at the end of this race, especially with an 18 seconds to gap, which Optic Goblin could still do that. He's just got to be patient with good lap times here and not worry about Optic Goblin behind, and he could very well get that P3 pretty easily.
Well, and like most endurance races, Mitch, it's just about being mistake-free. And I think that's what's kept him in this top 5 all day, is just minimal mistakes.
Yeah, minimal mistakes, and he's shown it very well with those minimal mistakes, and it's managed to keep him in this third position here so far. And we're getting up to the halfway point right now, so you've still got a long way to go to keep managing this car, managing it correctly, and it'll do well for you.
Baritone Boss, 3 seconds behind of the leader, now closing that gap to 2.1 seconds, and there's the mistake, Mitch. Zachary tagging the wall out of Piscine, now struggling to regain his composure, and the last time this happened, it took him a couple laps to get it back together. Baritone Boss can smell blood in the water.
Yeah, Baritone Boss just, if he can stay with, I think with under that 3 second gap for now, that's a good margin to be under for now. And then if he can close in so slightly every so often, which he is right now, he can maybe try to attack him once again.
If you've recently joined us, Amrik James, joined by racing's favorite Australian, Mitchie. We're bringing you race number 1 of 3 in the Chicken Foot CluckClash Triple Crown. I know that's a mouthful, we'll just stick to CluckClash. But welcome if you've just recently joined us. We're watching the battle between first and second. Zachary 7007 leading the majority of the laps today. Baritone Boss behind him. 19 seconds behind them is the bronze medal position driver, Ace Petty. Everyone driving McLaren MP13s in this event, about to hit the halfway mark in this race so far. Mitch, thank you so much for joining us, by the way. Night Sniper, now 4/10. Night Sniper's, no, he's gone around in the straight between Casino and the hairpin. And we've been cursing people all night, man. The curse of the commentator's just been coming through, but that's yet another mistake for another driver. And you can see the gap goes from mere tenths to 17 seconds. That must be demoralizing for a driver, eh?
Well, it was right on the back of Mr. Slidedrive, as you saw with the timing, and just made a mistake. And it could be so annoying because I believe he was closing right in on him. He was a couple of seconds behind him, and then you just lose all the time that you gained. And it's one of the most frustrating things as a driver when that happens.
It has to be. Genuinely, all that hard work, and now you come to this moment, and you've binned it. And it's not because of exterior motives or influence, or someone's gotten into you. You just absolutely binned it on your own accord. You've got no one to blame but yourself at that point. We'll see if Yotes King meets the same fate headed into Nouvelle. Mitch, he's only 0.6 behind Blitz.
He's actually closed it in on Blitz here for a top 9 position, and let's try to see if he can close up here as much as he can. And Yotes, another one who was showing a little bit of pace early on and then lost a little bit with mistakes, as Zachary up the front does the fastest lap of the race, and 18.8 from him right now, so he's gotten out to 4 seconds the gap. But yes, Yotes now, I think he just hit the wall there as well, so the commentator's curse is in true effect right now. But try to see if he can close up here on Blitz here at the moment for a P9.
We are just the worst people, aren't we?
Yes. It happens.
Oh, I don't care.
It happens.
I couldn't care less. I'm having a blast. Yotes King now on the outside of Blitz. They're headed towards the hairpin, Mitch. Less than 2/10 between them. Yotes King to the inside, headed into the Grand Hotel hairpin. 2 abreast. And will Blitz get another chance through the Lowe's hairpin? So close on the back end. Looks like he messed up the entrance just a bit, Mitch. But that was clinical from Yotes King. Just set him up and knocked him down.
Got to give credit to Blitz there. He saw the move coming and just moved to the side. He didn't want contact to happen. So good job there by Blitz there. Jump in the fire, gets the time penalty in P5 right now. And here we go again, Rick. I said this before. It was 4 seconds to gap just a lap ago, and now it's back to 1.5. Oh, Zachary's just turned around one of the lapped cars. I did not see who that was. And now Baritone Boss is back right at the back of Zachary once again.
Not sure what's happening. Mistakes all around. Zachary 7007 almost seems like he doesn't want to win night 1 of CluckClash. Baritone Boss right next to him, side by side through Casino. Baritone Boss making heavy contact. Boss has gone around, binned it, gets nailed into by Ace Petty, it looked like. Zachary 7007 now running away with this race. And it seems like contact and controversy continues to follow Zachary at every single corner, Mitch.
Oh, it was contact behind from one of the lap cars actually, but yeah, it was side by side the two went, and there was contact, and Marathon Boss went around. But yeah, absolute controversy here on lap 42 of this race. With 9 seconds to margin now, all Baraton Boss has to do is just be patient. If he could keep on going, he could maybe close that margin back down because there's still a long way to go for him to do that in this race.
It will be 36 laps to go in this Monaco Grand Prix. Cole MF Trickle following here in those last 10 minutes. Thank you, Cole. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Rick James TV. Go ad-free with a subscription through Twitch or Amazon Prime Gaming. Mitch, and there's one car that's gone around out of Piscine. It's Blitz. It's Blitz. A bus driver had him chased down to the tune of a second. Blitzkrieg goes around out of Piscine, and bus driver makes it into the top 10. Mitch, you said you saw Zachary turn a lapped car around before Baritone had got to him.
Yes, that was. He was stuck behind one of the lapped cars. I don't know which one who it was, and that allowed Baraton Boss to catch back up. So that's the one thing Baraton Boss has to do right now is be patient and hope for something like that to happen maybe again to gain some more time. But for now, Zachary's got a good gap. He's got a little bit of clean air at the moment before he gets to another couple of lapped cars. So it's only lap 43 of 78. It might be 9 seconds to gap, but I don't think it's over just yet.
Oh, it's never over until it's over. We've been saying all day, haven't we, that you can't guarantee victory until lap 78. Vlad Poultry, 4.5 seconds behind Knight. And there's Blitz and Bus Driver switching positions again. And Bus Driver going around out of the hairpin section, and he's binned it in the tunnel. Mitch, mistakes have been the biggest crux of half this field.
Yeah, mistakes are a big factor in this race at the moment. When you're getting the laps down a little bit more, it will hurt you just as much. And mistakes, you're going to try to keep mistake-free in this race, and which is what Baraton Boss is struggling at the moment because he's 15 seconds now behind Zachary. So this could very much hurt him. And Ace Penny's now under 10 seconds of Baraton Boss here at the moment, and someone is around. I did not see who that was. I mean, there's a lot of people going around at the moment, and we're getting to lap 44 of Monaco, and Monaco, it's a concentration is a huge thing around here, and that's what we're trying to see at the moment with these drivers.
I think these drivers are really just, as you said, not only struggling for concentration, Mitch, but at times just struggling to keep their cars pointed in the right direction because the track is blending together. The cars are all blending together. This is that time during the race where drivers need to buckle down as Zachary goes purple with a 1:18.64 over Baritone Boss, and he just keeps on outdoing himself, Mitch.
Yeah, it's just, well, Baritone Boss now does the fastest lap of the race, so I mean, it's just back and forth between these two at the moment. Even though it's 14.8 seconds, it's unbelievable. But yeah, Zachary, every time when a little mistake happens, then he comes out with the fastest lap of the race, and that just shows a really good driver within them.
Baritone Boss now hunting him down. Ace Petty behind Baritone to the tune of 11 seconds. Baritone Boss getting a bit closer to Zachary. T2 Infiltrator only 4 seconds behind Los Trevi. There's the gap headed up Beau Rivage. Bus Driver trying to close the 8-second gap to Blitzkrieg after he spun himself in the tunnel section. And from there, it looks like these drivers do have their own space, their own breathing room now, Mitch. Hopefully, some time to reassess and hit their marks.
Well, so right now, Zachary's got 2 lap cars coming up right now. Baritone Boss has got complete clean air, so he could maybe try to use this to gain a little bit more time back. But yeah, a little bit of breathing space at the moment for everybody. Honestly, here at Monaco, sometimes a bit of breathing space can actually hurt you a bit more because more prone to a mistake. As Zachary now trying to see if he can get past Maverick Moose here.
Maverick Moose running in the 12th position, not giving way, now headed into the hotel hairpin. Maverick Moose finding himself 30 seconds behind, and there you see the leader desperately trying to get around Moose. Does he give way into the tunnel? Out of the hairpin, there goes Maverick Moose slamming the wall, and Zachary gets around him, headed into Nouvelle. And Los Trevi coming down pit road, no idea what change he's making here for fresh tires, it looks like. And there he goes, possibly some adjustments, but Los Trevi, I don't know if he decided to put fresh tires on. Interesting helmet and glove choice there with the pumpkin and the skeleton glove. Zachary now coming around pit road, and Los Trevi potentially trying to put in a fast lap, but at this point it looks like he's also just having fun with his evening. I'm not sure, but he's still in it. He's still enjoying the CluckClash. Zachary losing a bit of that lead now, coming to 31 laps to go next time by. And McLaren, all these drivers running McLarens here. For those that don't know, McLaren, the constructor with the most wins at Monaco, 15 in total, actually winning with this very car, the 1998 McLaren MP4 13. Mika Hakkinen at the wheel, winning 5 times in the aughts, 2000, 2002, 2005, 2007, and 2008. 2008, the last time McLaren won this race.
Yeah, long time since McLaren have won here at Monaco. They recently got, of course, a podium here with Lando Norris, but who knows, in the future they could get that win. We'll have to wait and see. But 11.5 still at the front, and we're closing in here very soon on 30 to go.
Bus driver now 1.1 seconds behind Blitzkrieg. This is a battle for the top 10 position. And Mitch, it's been just an absolute resurgence from McLaren here, talking IRL McLaren as Zach goes purple, 118.38. Zach Brown has moved in to the factory there after the long reign of Ron Dennis had come to an end, and really, as much as you can call it an overnight resurgence, relatively speaking, as long as McLaren have been around, it has been an overnight resurgence for the now papaya-colored constructor.
Oh yeah, they just, McLaren on their best day, they can be an absolute podium getter, and even on their best day could maybe try to strike over Red Bull and Mercedes. They're one of those teams that always in the end can be near the front on their best day, and they've always shown that. And you're going to see a bit more of that later through the season in real life F1. And yeah, McLaren, one of those teams that just punch above their weight when they need to.
Bus driver running 11th right now. And there is the move on Blitzkrieg. Goodness me, that was just so close. Blitzkrieg slamming the wall out of Saint-Devote, up Beau Rivage into Casino. We've seen this so many times today, Mitch. Where's Bus driver going to get him, man?
He's trying his absolute hardest to get this move done. But it's here at Monaco, when there's no space to go for the move, you struggle to get that move done. And that's what he's trying to absolutely find, where he can do that over Blitz here at the moment. And it's not easy here at Monaco to do that, especially if you make a little mistake like that he just did there. But now he stays with him much as he can out of the tunnel, and maybe he may try to look at turn 1, maybe, possibly.
Bus driver trying to get ever closer. Baritone Boss closing that gap to 12 seconds. Now with fewer than 30 laps to go in this Monaco Grand Prix. Just wiggling, struggling to get that car under control, Mitch. And it's not an easy car to drive by any stretch, especially considering how much downforce there isn't on these race cars, if we're honest. But certainly just a lot of fun to watch, and I can't wait for the rest of this weekend as well. You gonna be around this weekend, Mitch?
Yeah. Well, when I get the best chance, I will definitely be tuning in to Rick James TV on Twitch. Be sure to check out on that Indianapolis and Charlotte, especially tomorrow in Indianapolis. We all know what Indianapolis is like. It's one of those unique circuits in the world, and of course Charlotte as well. It's going to be an interesting weekend, and I think it'll be very interesting because I think these drivers will be more in their element when they get to those next two circuits. But bus driver here is still trying to get close to Blitzkrieg at the front. Even on lap 50 or 78 with the gaps at the moment, we still have a battle on circuit, and I knew we always would.
That's one of the things that I'm genuinely appreciating right now about this race is that everywhere you look, there is a battle for position. Despite these drivers not being seasoned Formula One drivers in any capacity, despite big mistake there from Blitz hitting the wall, despite these drivers really struggling with the car, with the track in every single aspect, they're still putting on a show to watch.
As bus driver looks for the move here on Blitz, not enough. Oh, Blitz hits the wall, and Bus tries to get past, but he just can't at the moment. But yeah, it's very intense between these drivers at the moment. I think, and Maverick Miss has a big hit in the wall back in the field at the moment. Big spin from him, and he gets it back on track. But yeah, the big battle for P10 at the moment, and I still think the league we still keep our eye on at the moment because it's still 14 seconds. If a mistake happens, it could still lighten up. So that's still not over yet. As bus driver looks for the move here again, Rick, I feel like I've said that many times in the last 10 minutes.
He's finally going to pull that off, though, Mitch, into Nouvelle, going around the inside on the tunnel, the outside into Nouvelle and Clinical. Bus driver gets the move, and look at that slam. Was that Blitz in the left-hander before Piscine? Just losing focus, losing control. Bus driver now into the 10th position. Blitzkrieg 6/10 behind through Rascass, and Blitz scraping the wall just a little bit. Time to settle down, Blitz, with a big slam there out of the final corner. I don't know if this is out of frustration or just impatience, but still plenty of race to go for all of these drivers. No time for the red mist to descend just yet.
Yeah, no time yet for the race to wrap up at the moment. There's still a good 20 or more laps to go in this race. And Blitz now has missed a slide jump ahead of him, actually has a bit of hit in the wall, who has lapped the cars at the moment. But yeah, focus is going to be the main key right now. Focusing on getting everything perfect on track to not make a mistake.
No, of course, we don't want to make any mistakes whatsoever, but I mean, I think that ship has sailed at this point now, hasn't it, Mitch? Now it's drivers just trying to limit damage control, especially a few of these leaders who have been prone to mistakes.
Well, the big story now for Sack is he's coming up to a battle up ahead of 3 cars, so he's got to be patient when he gets to these next 3 cars. The last time he was in a battle pack of cars, it didn't go well for him. So he's got to be patient to get past these 3 cars coming up ahead, because he could lose time to Baritone Boss, and Baritone Boss could close that margin back down on him.
We'll see where Baritone Boss comes through in this fight. 53 laps underway in the Principality. Vols fan dropping in 245 bits into the chat earlier. Vols, I love you, buddy. Vols will be in the booth with us tomorrow night for the 500 miles of Indianapolis, and then Sunday night for the 600 miles at Charlotte, and that will complete our CluckClash weekend. 1,300 miles of racing as Blitzkrieg makes a big mistake there, and it will cost him dearly.
And Bus Driver behind him. Bus Driver actually had a bit of a moment at turn 1 and spun. So Bus Driver behind Blitz once again. So Bus Driver has to make this move on him once again, and he's going to look for it through the tunnel.
Bus Driver now to the inside. These two swapping positions back and forth. Once again, a 3-second time penalty for Yotes King, now coming to the 54th lap of competition. And there's a big tag with the wall right there. Yotes King sitting 9th as bus driver struggles to keep that McLaren on pace, but still singing at full song. Blitzkrieg really hanging the tail out of Piscine. Bus driver now finally some breathing room, starting his 53rd lap of this race.
He actually made a mistake out of the final corner there, so he doesn't want to lose more time to Blitzkrieg behind. He wants to just get up ahead and pull away from him, because these two are just like magnets of each other, won't keep away off each other. And it's a great fight here for P10 with these two drivers here at the moment.
Mitch, who's the standout driver so far? And you know what, let me make this harder for you. You can't pick Zachary. Now, who's your standout driver? I know, right? Because he's just leading the race by 9.5 seconds. Let me take him off the table.
Well, I'd like to point out here, seconds, so Zach's lost a bit of time somewhere. So I did say again, Rick, it's not over yet, as we keep saying. So 9 seconds. If Baritone Boss can maybe pull away, get more margin, it could still be on. But Ace Petty, though, P3, just smooth, stayed in this position for pretty much the whole entire race. I don't think he's really made a mistake at all in this race at all, and it's just done a good job.
Ace Petty is certainly the most consistent, and you know what? I'll go with that too. I'll say that Ace Petty, hands down, is one of the most consistent drivers out on the field right now, and that's what's kept him in this 3rd spot. He certainly does know what he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just knows what he's doing superbly. Yes, he might not have the pace, but you know what? When you're in a P3 right now, you'll take a P3.
Oh, certainly I would. It's 3 nights of racing, mind you. I would certainly take a P3 headed into Indianapolis next week. A race that's going to be almost twice as long tomorrow, mile-wise, and then the 600-miler Sunday night. That's just going to be ridiculous for these drivers. But certainly, consistency like tonight will be the name of the game tomorrow and Sunday as well. Now, Mitch, I don't know if you've ever seen IndyCar. You're a fan of IndyCar, but tomorrow at Indianapolis, my friend, something to tune in for sure. What were you going to say?
Yes, Indianapolis, just one of the most great circuits in real life. We saw it this year, the Indy 500, a great race that was this year. And I think this year we may even see, we'll see tomorrow night. I think could be a hell of a race, no doubt about it, to look out for. And so looking forward to that, as I'm just on board here with Baritone Boss. He's actually turned around one of the lapped cars. He's trying to get through on them. I think this is where Zachary lost a bit of his time in the lapped cars at the moment. But yes, Rick, Indianapolis, great circuit. I think tomorrow night is going to be one hell of a race.
Join us. Why not? Mitch, I was talking to you specifically. Join us. Why
well,
not?
I'll be sure to tune in on the stream, no doubt about it. I'll be sure to tune in on stream, no doubt about it, when I get the opportunity in, of course, work life in Australia right now.
Well, and I'll tell you what, your dedication, it goes second to none. Let me tell you, fans, if you're listening, this guy, obviously if you couldn't tell, Mitch is from the other side of the planet, where it is currently 11 a.m. on a Saturday in his house. He's taken his Saturday morning. Mind you, we've been talking for almost 2 hours now. So from 9 a.m. on his Saturday morning, he's been with us, helping us with this show. My hat's off to this guy right here. Mitchie, thank you so much for being a part of the show, man. I know I know we say that a lot, but I will beat that horse until this weekend is over and well beyond. Thanks so much for taking time out of what I am sure is your gorgeous Australian sun-filled Saturday morning to enjoy some virtual racing with us.
Yes, it's actually been a very fascinating race, and I don't think it's over just yet, as it's 8 seconds between Zachary and Baritone Boss. So, yeah, it's been a great race to watch, and I think it's going to be a great clash here for the next couple of nights. I think it's just going to keep getting better and better.
One car going around out of the Casino Square corner. Zachary 7007 still leading, but Mitch, you've been calling it. That lead continues to dwindle. Now, time after time, Zachary has answered the call to defend that lead, but this time Baritone Boss gets stronger every single time as well. And it's uncanny. Yotes King now in the pits. I don't know if Yotes King is going for fresh tires himself, but I'm interested to see what Baritone Boss is going to come up with and what's happening with Zachary, because Zachary is losing time hand over fist.
I think he just went too deep under braking again and lost a little bit of time. He was passing a lapped car, and he's actually got a lapped car coming up here right now. If you get past this lapped car, he's got a big load of fresh air coming up, which will help him in this race. 7 seconds is the margin now. The margin's closing down when it was about 16 seconds not too long ago, as up to Goblin gets a time penalty. The top three as of right now do not have penalties. There is a bunch of penalties behind of 3 seconds throughout the field. But yeah, 7 seconds to gap. We've coming up to 20 to go.
Now in the home stretch of this Monaco Grand Prix. Or is it Grand Prix? I'm not sure. It's French, right? So
Both.
is it both? Because I know it's when it's pluralized, it's Grands, Grands, Grand Prix. But I think it just depends on where you come from, especially in the United States.
Yes.
Whether it's Grand Prix or Grand Prix.
Yes, I think so. I think it's how you pronounce it, really.
Have we run out of things to talk about?
well. The fact is that we still have an interesting fight for the lead at the moment. There's still a bit going on, but yeah, a lot of drivers just trying to make it to the end here at the moment with 20 to go. We're on the home stretch of this race.
It's got to be grueling, though, physically, genuinely. And obviously, these guys aren't IRL drivers, but physically, it is just a little bit physically demanding. But, of course, mentally demanding as well, because you do want to win. You are practicing. You're giving it everything. Imagine what it's like to do this in real life. But genuinely, the guys that have dedicated their time to come out here and do this with all of us, it does take hard concentration. And you and I, we did Breakout Racing League Formula 1 here these past 17 or so weeks. That is a tough task when it comes to video games.
I can tell you this right now, Rick. I don't know if it was this game, but I have done this was only a 25% race in these cars at Monaco, which was only like 20 laps. And I was getting a bit frustrated and losing concentration because it's so hard in these cars at Monaco. Just imagine 78 laps around here. It's a grueling task to do just with the hands. I mean, some people may say, I know a lot of people have their words about gamers, but boy, on the hands it can be very tough. You've got to be concentrated, especially mentally around here. You've got to be absolutely mentally there to get to the end.
Steal your mind, indeed. Blitzkrieg, 4 seconds behind bus driver. This the ever-going battle for the 10th position. Bus driver now up the hill towards the casino. Yotes King in 8th. Yotes King 9th. Vlad Poultry 8th. Night Sniper, we've seen some action out of him. He tags the wall. He's only 4 seconds behind Slide Job. Jump in the Fire, who is 1 lap behind 4th place Optic Goblin. And looks like, no, it thought it was Zachary 7007, but there's another driver with an identical helmet to Zachary. Anyway, the leader by 8.5 seconds, coming to the final, I believe, 18 to go this time by, and this could be Mitch. I'm sorry, I'm losing concentration. Baritone Boss has slowly been chipping away at Zachary here, little by little. I think he's going to have one more good attempt here.
And I'm looking at the track map right now. The next big load of traffic will be coming probably in the last 10 laps or so for Zachary. So Baritone Boss right now, this is the stage of the race where he just has to do consistent laps and hope that Zach makes a little bit of a mistake at the end. That's all that Baritong Boss can do right now to maybe hope to get there at the end. So, but there's a load of cars near each other at the moment throughout the field, and Night Stopper as well. We'll keep an eye as well. It's actually 4.2 behind Mr. Slide Drop, so that could be a fight that could erupt at the end of this race as the T2 comes into the pit lane. A few drivers have taken a few pit stops in this race here at Monaco.
You know, and I think it's just drivers that are saying, you know, I might as well just try something, see what happens. Not necessarily to gain position, but to mix it up, enjoy the waning laps here, because some of these guys may never do Formula One again, and for good reason. It is such a difficult discipline in motorsport. And what's going to be difficult about this weekend is training super hard for 3 different disciplines. Mitch, you come from the Formula One world. If there's something you know about, it's Formula One. Myself, I grew up in the NASCAR world, but commentating all sorts of everything. I would say that my favorite is open wheel, and I know a decent bit about open wheel, where guys like Ace Petty, Mr. Slide Job come from the NASCAR universe. They know about stock cars, or where you come from, saloon racing.
Yep.
Is that going to be a hindrance in these coming days, drivers having to step out of their comfort zone to get in a different car? Maverick Moose coming to a halt in turn 1.
Oh, it absolutely can be, and we've seen that here tonight with a few drivers as well. I would not be surprised if we see a few of these drivers at the back be superb in the next 2 nights. We'll have to wait and see how those drivers maybe the back go. They could come up tomorrow night and take a win. That's the incredible thing about these next 3 days, is the different disciplines in this field and the different mindset you have to take. I mean, especially when, you know, you go from Monaco, you go from Indianapolis, and then you go to Charlotte. 3 different, completely dynamics you have to focus on.
16 laps to go in the Principality. 8 seconds the gap between first and second. Night Sniper 5, Mitch. You said he's closing the gap, and he's closer than ever in the last 20 laps. He's 3 seconds behind Slide Job through Rascasse.
Yeah, he's closing down here on Night Sniper, trying to see if he can close in, jump in the fire, gets a time penalty, but he's got 57 seconds over Mr. Slide Job at the moment. But yeah, Night Sniper trying to see if he can close down here on Mr. Slide Job for a P6 in this race.
Still 3 seconds the gap up the hill. Bit of a wide corner there. Now, we've been talking about how difficult this is and why it's so challenging, but Mitch, let's talk about some of the positives of Monaco as Night Sniper gets within 3 seconds. What is your favorite part about the Principality?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Do you even like this place? Let's start with that.
No, I think that it's the opposite. No, it's the opposite of what you think. I actually really love this circuit. I think I love challenging circuits like this as Zachary gets a time penalty. No, sorry, the fastest lap. God, I'm losing my mind, Rick. I love the tightness of circuits. I mean, yes, it does not bring the best racing in the world, but I think a tight circuit like this with the walls being close to each other, it's a different factor you've got to pull into. It's one of those things where you've got to get your mind into it and make it perfect. Unlike, say, a circuit like, let's say, Brazil, like Interlagos, where it's open circuit and really mistakes are like hitting the wall and that, it's not a factor that you're thinking about. Whereas here, you've got to think about that, because one little mistake, you're in the wall or you could spin. And I like that factor in me. I like that it's a bit of more of a challenge in you. And I think that's what the real life F1 drivers love about this circuit, is that it's a different challenge. Yes, it might not bring the best racing, but it's a different challenge you have to take, especially for 78 laps, which these drivers here tonight have done.
It seems like the challenge now is just not crashing. Coming out of Rascasse, we saw Blitz make a mistake there. Now Night Sniper making another mistake. One car going around, headed into tunnel. Zachary goes purple again, 1:17.37. I don't understand how. we'll get into that one later. But Night Sniper now 2.3 seconds behind Mr. Slyjob, who went around through Casino Corner and made some contact with another driver there. But now we're in the nitty-gritty here, Mitch. Now as Slyjob tags the wall, Night Sniper will get within 1 second of him. And now we're in the nitty-gritty. We're coming to the final 13 laps of this race, final lucky 13. This is where there really is no room for error because there is no time to make it up.
Yeah, there's no time to make it up, really. We're on 65 or 78. You got to make it absolutely perfect to get the timing right and to try to close down on that position ahead. And I think one of the drivers we saw until actually had a little spin was actually Ace Petty, because it's now 6 seconds between him and Optic Goblin. Out of nowhere, when it was like 20 seconds between those two. So a few fights here are starting to erupt here at the end of this race, and that's what we love to see.
Night Sniper within half a second to Mr. Slyjob, trying to close that gap. And if I were Night Sniper, Mitch, I would just sit behind Slyjob. Keep the heat on high. Don't necessarily let it boil over, but just force him to look in his mirror several times a lap.
Yeah, absolutely got to stay with him as best as he can, because the time you don't really want to make a mistake is now. If you can try to stay with him as much as you can, and if he makes a mistake like he's just done, Night Sniper got very close to the back of Mr. Slyjob, but just wasn't enough to make the move for now. And it's very close between these two, bit of contact.
Heavy contact out of the corner there. Night Sniper really putting the McLaren Mercedes horn to Mr. Slyjob 1996 into Saint-Devote. And a little bit of contact with the wall, but a great exit up Beau Rivage.
Looks to try to go for it, just not enough for now. There's no space to make for it here at the moment, and Mr. Slyjob just holding on for now. And Night Sniper just trying to see where he can possibly... Oh, there's contact between the two, and here comes Night Sniper for the move, but Mr. Slyjob fights him back and holds on.
Fewer than lucky number 13 laps to go in this Monegasque Grand Prix. Race 1 of 3 in the CluckClash Triple Crown. Slyjob hanging on for 6th, and this battle's been raging for a couple of laps now. Zachary, the leader, has broken out to a lead of over 11 seconds once again, coming to 11 laps to go next time by. Night Sniper really getting aggressive with Slyjob up ahead, and he needs to tone it down or the stewards will get involved. But Slyjob loose out of Piscine. There goes Night Sniper, who's gone around in the opposite direction, and just nowhere to go for Night Sniper after Slyjob loses the car out of Piscine. That looks like Ace Petty, who's right behind Slyjob. But man, just like that, Mitch, I don't really think there was anybody at fault there. They were just too close to do anything about it. And Yotes King with a 3-second penalty. But that's the challenge that you were talking about right there, as Slyjob continues to have struggles holding on to this race car.
Yeah, it's one of those things at the moment you got to absolutely get perfect. But yeah, I think it was just one of those things where probably both of them went too deep, and it just caused an absolute... just Night Sniper was in the wrong place at the wrong time, really, and that's what ended there. Ace Petty just struggling to get through the traffic at the moment, but he's clear. And Optic Goblin now trying to see if he can close down Ace Petty for P3. It's 4.1 between those two at the moment, as we're closing in on 10 to go, as Mr. Slyjob gets another time penalty.
Now, Mitch, correct me if I'm wrong, but looking over these top 4, none of the top 4 have any penalties. Is that correct?
I believe so. None of the top 4 have time penalties at the moment. I will have a quick quick look for you right now, but I believe the top four do not have penalties in this race, which is very impressive, especially around Monaco. And as a matter of fact, the only one of the top four that does not have a warning is Ace Petty. So it shows you once again, actually, excuse me, Optic Goblin does have a penalty. I do apologise there. Optic Goblin does have a free second time penalty, so that could hurt him at the end of this race if he somehow got past Ace Petty for P3.
So the math says that Optic Goblin would need to be leading Ace Petty by 3 seconds when the race ends to get that third place finish. Anything is possible, and it's been a very, very nice race so far. 69 laps into the competition, and I would say indeed that it's been quite the nice race, Mitch. 12 seconds the gap. Excuse me. 12 seconds the gap. Sorry, no, go ahead. Way to cover. Well, way to get that rebound. You hear me clearing my throat. Good job. Anyway, please continue.
I literally just did the same thing myself. So, yes, yeah, Ace Petty just superb at the moment and consistently well. And he looks like he's going to hold on to this P3 at the moment, but we're under 10 to go now. And Sal has got a little bit of traffic to deal with, but he's got 12 seconds. He should be fine and home. But still, maybe a little bit of battles raging on throughout the field right now in this one.
Driver still fighting for pride. Driver still fighting for the best points they can. Top 6 will score points. 20, 18, 17, the points for first, second, and third. 16, 15, the points for fourth and fifth. And 6th through 14th will come away with 10 points today, headed into race 2 tomorrow night, 8 p.m. right here, twitch.tv/Rick James TV1. Coming to 7 laps to go, Zachary, and I'll be honest, I saw seeing right now the internet connection issues that Zachary has, the low latency that's been plaguing Zachary, and I thought it was going to cause a problem, but he's been the class of this field, just uncanny despite all the mistakes that he's made. Truly a Senna-esque drive without the crash into the ocean wall in 88.
Especially with Baritone Boss taking the lead of halfway through the race and managed to get the move back done and then hold him off perfectly. See, he's done a superb job, Zachary, and he's showing even more with another fastest lap of the race.
Has he gone purple again? Was that 1:17.27?
Yes. Yes.
Good night. Get out of here. Get off. Just, you know, what else can you say? What a drive it's been, you know? I cannot wait to see if this will correlate to Indianapolis tomorrow. Who was saying earlier in the chat that he's a road course ringer? Someone was talking to us saying that was the setup man. He says, I've raced against Zach a lot in NASCAR Heat 5, and he's a road course ringer, and really showing it, and just sensational stuff here. What is it now? 7 laps to go in this race. Ace Petty 43, 37 seconds behind second. Baritone hanging on for what will likely be a second. What's that, Mitch? Talk to me.
Night Sniper and Mr. Slide Job going side by side. Night Sniper's caught back up to Mr. Slide Job, so this fight between these two are going to erupt again.
Night Sniper 1/10 behind, and both of these drivers will earn 10 points, finishing 6th or 7th, but it's just racing for pride, Mitch. You know all about racing for the pride. You just, the inner racer in all of us wants to pass the guy ahead no matter what the stakes.
Well, especially when on lap 72 and 78, where you'd love to get past this guy because it is full position. I mean, yes, they are getting the same points, but still, 1 position up. That will be a great day for you. And yeah, Night Sniper trying to see if he can possibly get this move done on Mr. Slidejob.
Through the tunnel for one of the few final times. Night Sniper 5/10 behind. We've been here before, Mitch. We've seen the mistakes that are made. Thinking personally, I would honestly just set up a great run out of Saint-Devote or into the Nouvelle Chicane. No other place makes sense to pull off a pass.
Oh, and Mr. Slidejob's sliding all around at the moment. That's in his name, and he's trying to hold on to this position on Night Sniper behind. But Night Sniper's just holding behind, trying to get this move done if he possibly can. But he's gonna possibly, as you said, probably sit behind for now and wait for his best opportunity.
Right here, turn one, Santivote as Slide Job cuts that corner heftily. And I believe there's, what, 6 seconds worth of penalties for Slide Job?
I believe so, yes.
So as they do race, and I don't know how many penalties the Night Sniper is carrying, but obviously for now the penalties don't matter. Side by side, and Night Sniper just can't pull it off. He'll have another chance into Nouvelle. Oh, he goes around.
Oh.
No, he's gone around again, Mitch.
Big moment there for Night Sniper. And wow, that was a big mistake and loses all that time again to miss the slide job up ahead. It's almost out to 10 seconds now. And that's the mindset you got to have here at Monaco. You got to be absolutely focused, and lost a bit of focus there and went around.
But you have to be willing to risk it all, naturally.
Yes.
Oh, who's gone around it? Was that Slide Job?
No, that was Zachary.
No.
Spun.
That was, you're spot on, Mitch. The leader, Zach, spinning in Nouvelle, and Baritone Boss, 13 point, now look at the gap just closed. He lost 5 seconds there through Nouvelle, coming to the final 5 laps of the race. Mitch, what have we been saying all day? It's not over until lap 78.
And I think that was I think that could have been purely himself that did that. I don't know if he'll see lap traffic or not. But yeah, it's back now to 9 seconds. Baritone Boss will see that and will try to hope if he can close it down to a point where it puts pressure on Zachary up ahead for Zachary to think about that margin.
I would say the pressure's on Zachary right now. He's coming to 4 laps to go. Look at this heavy traffic, trying to put Night Sniper another lap down, getting a bit aggressive with the nose of his McLaren MP13 out of hairpin. Go on.
Oh, he hits the back of Blitz, and this is the problem now. I'm trying to count here, there's a couple of drivers coming up ahead. There's a car around behind. It's T2. But yeah, Zachary's got to try and get these moves done here as best he possibly could. But of course, Baritone has to go through the same traffic as him.
Tabac, Chiron, Piscine, Raskas, Anthony Knox, and then down the front straight one more time. With a 9-second lead, he now has 4 laps to go in the Monaco Grand Prix. Vlad Putty, 6 seconds behind Night Sniper after Sniper made that almost race, well, would have been a race-ending mistake. Thank goodness for no damage, let me tell you, because we would have no drivers running this race right now.
There'd be no drivers.
With all due respect, no, we're friends to almost everybody, and I'm sure we're friends to everybody in this chat here, but goodness me, just the mistakes that have been made today, and just the sheer amount of drivers that have tagged the wall in an extreme way. Thank goodness for no damage.
But to be fair, I will agree with these drivers. I would run a no damage at Monaco as well. So
at a 100%, come on, you almost have to.
So I do not blame them, to be honest. I think it's actually made a lot better, actually, because we probably would have seen 500 pit stops. But it's been a good race either way. We've seen some great racing either way. We have seen some great side-by-side racing throughout this race, and a bit of drama in between. So it has been a good race. No matter what the margins, we have seen some good racing here tonight.
Oh, even with these margins, the racing's just been absolutely sensational. 3 laps now to go as Zachary goes purple again. Mitchell, what is in that race car? 117.21. We were with him all throughout the last lap. He's not doing anything different to his opponents, but he continues to go purple and purple and purple. Call him Grimace. He looks like the purple guy on the McDonald's bag. Just fastest lap after fastest lap.
And that's what he's doing right now. He's got clean air. He's got 3 traffic cars coming up. if that will be a factor for him or not, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, just consistent laps here at the moment, and it's just been absolutely perfect from him.
Night one of the CluckClash almost complete. Zachary 7007 getting those first points. Baritone Boss in second. Ace Petty sitting in third. While Optic Goblin runs fourth and Jump the Fire in the fifth position. Zachary gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Now a mistake could really be a hindrance here. 2 to go. And if I'm Zach Mitch, take it slow. No mistakes whatsoever.
Yeah, no mistakes whatsoever, because if he makes a mistake and it gets under 3 seconds of Baritone Boss will win this race. But we're on 2 laps to go now, lap 77 of 78 here in Monaco.
What a run it's been so far for all of these drivers. Fans at home, stay tuned for a couple of closing words about tonight's race and tomorrow night as well. Before we do get into our mile-long thank yous, I just do want to thank every single last person that's been here, part of this chat. Of course, Mitch, everybody here. We're not done yet. It's only night 1 of 3. This is going to be just sensational.
Yes, it will be. We're still at Indianapolis tomorrow night, Charlotte as well. So there's still a lot to play for here in this one.
Maverick Moose, Blitzkrieg, and Bus Driver really giving us just sensational action. These two, as Zachary starts the final lap of competition. Yotes King, Vlad Poultry, and Night Sniper. Oh, look at this Night Sniper almost at the death, giving up the spot to Vlad Poultry, who was almost getting bullied at the beginning of this race. Vlad will secure himself a top 10 finish, now breaking into the top 7. Sly Job, Jump in the Fire. These two have just been battling left and right all night long as Jump will tag the wall in Sandevote. Optic Goblin in fourth, Ace Petty third, Baritone Boss and Zachary 7007 coming out of the hairpin for the final time through Mirabeau. Portier, now the tunnel. What a run for him, and if he can just make this second half of the race mistake-free through Nouvelle Chicane. Big jump there, but no penalties, penalty-free. 3-second time penalty for Los Trevi at the end of the race. He'll pick up 10 points as well. Tabac, Chiron, Piscine, now La Rascasse, the penultimate corner. And the checkered flag will be in the air. Night 1 of CluckClash, a success. 1/3 of the way to the Triple Crown. Zachary 7007 wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
Wow, superb job. He had to deal with traffic in the end there. But Baritone Boss comes home in P2. What could have been, but still a good performance to get P2 in the end. And we've got a bit of a wait to see Ace Petty to come home in P3.
Ace Petty finishing third. Optic Goblin in the fourth position if he can stay several minutes ahead of Yotes King, which I believe he will. Drivers finishing up, getting their last laps in. There's Ace Petty 43 coming through Piscine for the final time. La Rascasse, and he will collect his checkered flag. So Zachary 7007 picks up 20 points before tomorrow night. Again, most points wins at the end of 3 nights. Zachary with 20 points tonight. Baritone Boss getting 18 points. Ace Petty finishes third. He will get 17 points. In fourth place, waiting for Optic Goblin to collect his checkered flag as he comes out of Rascasse and Anthony Nogus for the last time. Optic Goblin will get 16 points. Jump in the Fire, 15 points. Everybody 6th through 10th getting 10 points headed into tomorrow night's race in Indianapolis. But tonight, your race winner, Zach 7007, winning the Triple Crown Monaco Grand Prix.
Wow, great performance by Zach. Superb job. It wasn't easy for him, no doubt. It was not easy. Had Baritone behind, but yeah, great performance consistently with fastest laps and a superb job.
Superb job there. We're going to let the drivers celebrate virtually here. We will get the official finishing order here in just a moment with time penalties and all. Can't wait to see where these drivers ended up. So many penalties out there. It's really going to dictate where these drivers finish. So those results we just labeled off, unofficial. Waiting for the board to come up. Zach Baritone Boss, Ace Petty, your top three. Optic Goblin does finish fourth. Jump in the Fire in fifth. There you can see the rest of those results. Great race tonight. Fans at home, sit tight. We're going to take a short 30 seconds and then be back to wrap up the evening's festivities. Don't go anywhere. Back on the podium here, we will forego interviews till Sunday night when we can talk to our top three finishers. Fans at home, thank you so much for tuning in. Mitch, thank you for being a part of such a special event. You and me with open wheel racing, man. Just every time there's just magic on the track.
Absolutely is, and it was a superb race here tonight. And don't forget to tune in for Indianapolis tomorrow night as well. It's going to be absolutely awesome to watch. I'll be sure to tune in if I'm able to on twitch.tv/RickJamesTV1.
My man, you know you should do ad reads for me, man. That's just fantastic. Uh, it's time to say goodnight, folks, but we will be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. for 500 miles at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Oval. Race 2, night 2 of the CluckClash Triple Crown from Indianapolis. Fans, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to the folks over at DI9 Designs. DI9 Designs is a Chase Elliott custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at DI9 Designs. They post graphics on all platforms multiple times a week on top of taking requests of all types of logos, Chase Elliott wallpapers, and iRacing schemes. Follow and DM them for more details. They are not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott. Fans at home, tune in tomorrow for the race. You cannot miss that. For Mitchie, for myself, for Ace Petty, everybody else involved, and all the fans, thank you once again. Stay safe, take care of each other, and